ago. Joining me right now is the ranking member of the House Homeland Security Committee, New York Congressman John Katko. Congressman, it's great to have you this weekend. Thanks very much for being here. Let me ask you that question. Are we safer today than 20 years ago or not?
I think there's much better communications between law enforcement and the intelligence community. So in that respect, we are. But there's also very new and very serious threats from Afghanistan, Al-Qaeda, our open borders, and China and Russia from the cybersecurity standpoint. So it's a different threat. It's a very serious threat, and New York City remains on high alert. They confirmed that this week in discussions with me. So it's a different threat, but it's still a very serious threat.
So you mentioned China. I want to mention China and talk about that threat in a moment. But first, you did get this briefing on the security of this country this weekend. September 11th is 20 years to the day since that terrorist attack. Can you tell us what you learned in that briefing in terms of securing America right now?
Yes, one of the things we learned is that the threat matrix is again elevated because of what's happened in Afghanistan. There's consensus amongst the experts like John Miller from the New York Police Department, the intelligence unit, who confirmed for us that it's a very bad thing that Al-Qaeda now has basically a home base again in Afghanistan. And you couple that with what's going on at our southern border and known and suspected terrorists are coming across, and that's a real threat. And it's a real threat for them to inflame seemingly dormant folks that are here in the United States already, who are getting impassioned, and maybe their temperature is up because of what happened in Afghanistan. And many of those people are cheering what happened, and that's not good for us going forward. If those lone wolf events are now a very real possibility again.
Unbelievable. We had compartmentalized this and not worried about this for a decade. And here we are again. And the same terrorists that you're referring to may very well be using our equipment, sir. I mean, $85+ billion worth of arms that we left behind, not to mention the $1 trillion that was invested in the Bagram airfield. And that air base was so strategically located between China and Russia. But I guess this was President Obama's priority anyway, right? Because Biden has around him the national security team of Obama, and Obama went on an apology tour. He didn't want America to have eyes and ears on China and Russia, did he?
Well, I guess not, because we certainly don't have that right now. And the Bagram Air Base, abandoning that before we got all of our citizens out and those who helped our citizens, terrorist threat renewed in Afghanistan. We now created a vacuum that China and Russia will happily fill. And China's not stupid. They're not going to do terrorist attacks in the United States. They're not going to do things overtly, except in the cyber realm. But they do now have the perfect proxy in the Taliban. They can help prop them up financially. And that does not bode well for the terrorist activities in Afghanistan and here in the United States.
Which is leading some people to believe that the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, will in fact move into the Bagram Air Base and take over that air base, which would be an incredible black eye on America and our national security professionals. Let me ask you this. While all of this is going on, you just went through two crises, at least, Afghanistan and the wide open border. Why are your colleagues talking about money being spent on a green economy? I mean, this is the priority right now. I want you to talk to us a little about what you think will come out of these talks. I know that House Ways and Means Committee has begun their markups of the $3.5 trillion package, which is closer to $5.5 trillion. We know that. Are we going to see an excise tax on companies that pay their CEOs what they deem as excessive? Are we going to see an excise tax on companies that have stock buybacks? And how about all those taxes coming our way? What should we expect?
Well, the demonization, once again, of business is alive and well on the Democratic side. And you're going to see all kinds of fees. You're going to see colossal tax increases. That's what they're attempting to do. There are some brave souls on the Democratic side that are standing tall, and I'm encouraging them. I've been texting them this morning and telling them to stand strong. But make no mistake about it, the Democrats want to talk about anything other than Afghanistan and the border, because those are two losing arguments for them, and they know how bad those arguments are for them. So for them going forward, they're going to try and push this socialist agenda. And if they do, I think it's going to set our economy back and our American progress back a long time. That's for sure.
And we're already worried about a slowing economy without all of this spending and high taxes. Congressman, thanks very much. We're going to be following your efforts, certainly on the Homeland front, as well as economic policy. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, and God bless, and great job on your coverage of the 9/11 this weekend.
Thank you so much.